It's a three-peat for the Gators.
What I love about this, man, is this is a legacy now. And no matter what we do going forward, we have had a decade of excellence and beyond that people can never let go. And we're not done. We're going to keep this thing rolling. We're not done. I mean, I get asked the question a lot, what's your favorite championship? The next one?
And they say we ain't gonna three-peat. We back though. We back.
We the best. There's no other place like here.
Even at this point, we do not know how this is going to turn out. That's how competitive and how close 4 or 5 teams are at this point.
Auburn, Houston, Florida, certainly. And what's interesting about those teams is Florida's the only team in that group that really has championship winning experience.
As we entered the championships this year, I felt like we had a good chance to win it.
And it's about to be the battleground for what could be one of the most closely contested collegiate championships of the spring. Last year in Austin, the Florida Gators won a 2nd consecutive national title, and a 3rd is within reach.
I think the big thing when you talk about winning the championship, the big key is, scoring points where you're expected to, but also qualifying well on Wednesday.
Robert Gregory can't miss him in the blue of Florida. Florida well out in front.
Well, great handoff by the Florida Gators.
On Wednesday, Malcolm got us 6 big points in the long jump.
In 5th place is Malcolm Clemens. Look at the extension off that jump.
We went into Friday's competition for the finals with all of our qualifiers there. We talk about having faith. I talk about that a lot. I talk about overcoming fear. Fear is real. It's something people have to manage. If anybody that says I'm not afraid of anything, they're not being truthful. You're going to go to the line. You're going to get in the circle. You're going to get on the runway. That fear exists. We have to have faith that you can overcome that fear. We ran very well in the 4x1, finishing 4th there.
Florida knows how to win this title as well. They're in lane 7. They always bode well here in the 4x100 meters. Outstanding running by the Florida Gators.
Wanye finished 6th in the 100 in a very tight race, having Javon Powell come back and get 3rd place in the 400. And running up almost a half a second personal best. That was a big run for him and a big jolt for the team. Javon's progression has been great. I think the biggest thing with that is that we always say that the 2nd year is always a big jump in the program. Once you've been in the program, you get used to the training system, you get used to the training room, you get used to the weight room. Everything kind of comes together. What we saw at Javon was very much expected, and I thought he had a chance to win it. I think what he did speaks to who we are when it comes to the track and field program. We talk about being at our absolute best at the national championships, and that's what you saw from Javon. Then we come back and Kai finished 4th in the discus.
The senior from Florida, he was an SEC runner-up, and he would send one right out about the 60-meter mark, get things going.
He missed a couple of throws, but he did a great job of battling throughout the competition. Sean was dealing with some issues in the triple jump, but he found a way to fight and get us a point.
That 1 point could be very, very important for the Gators.
Then the 200's up.
Florida right there in the hunt as well.
And we felt like if we ran really well in the 200, we could kind of put the meet away. But Robert Gregory doing what Robert Gregory does, he shows up in the championship meets, he gets 2nd for us.
That is big for the Gators. That Robert Gregory, the senior, in his last race is able to get through and 8 points for the Gators.
I don't think people understand how special of a run that was for Rob. Rob developed a tendon issue behind his knee literally the day before Florida Relays. So it's just been a situation where Rob just hasn't been right since the Indoor National Championships. And so I think the biggest thing with me for Rob was getting him to trust his fitness, to trust his ability to race, because he was racing people and he was trying to run fast. And all I said to Rob before the race was, I just need you to be you. I want you to run the turn the way you run the turn and then finish the way Rob Gregory finishes. To stop racing other people and just execute. And that's what you saw. When I said that to Rob, the look in his eyes, I knew he was going to be fine. I never doubted him. And when he came off the turn, he did what he does. He just ran people down. It was great. Going into the 4x4, we got to finish 3rd or better. If we don't, we can't lose by more than a spot or 2 to Alabama and USC. But we didn't talk about that. We just went into it. I told the guys to run the win. Anybody that sees the 4x4 come down and the meets on the line, they should expect the Gators to line up and run well.
We love it when the national title comes down to this final race. Very close between Alabama and Florida for who passed first.
And that's Javon Powell bringing it through for the Florida Gators.
Close on this pass. Gators pass first. A very good pass for them between Prude and Genoa McKeever. Florida, so Florida with 6 points.
3 years in a row now, we've broken 259 in that relay, and we finished third, and we're national champions again by a point.
That's what we do. We came out here and we win this. That's 3 in a row. That's 3. About to drop. Last one, best one. Come on, man.
You already know. Gator for life.
This one was special because of the adversity we faced throughout the year.
We're going to be back.
And so this was another chance for us to tell everybody, some point in time, we have to start respecting the fact that this is not something new in games where we do this every year. So respect the fact that we are a perennial power and that we're going to challenge for this title every year. What happened was back '95, my first year here, young man Robert Covington, Gator great, who is an old Army champ. So he and Aaron Tucker and a couple other guys on that team took that chant and turned it into the song. And so it's just something that we've been doing forever, and it's a tradition. It's just a tradition we've been doing since 1995, and the other schools always say they can't stand to hear it. So that's pretty cool too. But when you hear that it's just a sense of what's about to come in the 4x4. In the beginning of my career, there was a lot of times we went to the meet, it was just me against the world. And I came to the realization with some help of some very good friends that if I was going to do this and we were going to be successful, I needed help. And so having Coach Peterson, having Coach Worski, having Coach Welty, Coach Mann, Coach Hart, Coach Palmer and his wife Samantha, the whole staff is very vital to what we do here. The biggest thing with that is having them buy into my philosophies, buy into my beliefs, and they do that. So they understand that we need to be ready at the championships, and that's why it's successful. I can't do this by myself. And if you take away the jumps coach, the points to the throws points, we don't win the meet. Nothing changes. We are who we are. I'm not going to come into next year going, man, we got to win 4. Like I said last year at the end of that one, I'm not Pat Riley. I'm not predicting a three-peat. The three-peats happen now and it's over. Would we like to win a 4th one next year? Absolutely. But we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to get to work and get back to what we do. The biggest thing for me is, as I say this every year, that my #1 charge is that when we walk off that track in June in Eugene next year, that the Gator Nation is proud of our efforts and that we did our best to be the best team in the country.